Hey guys, what's good? It's your boy Adam, the guy who retired at 41 years old. And today I'm diving into something that straight up prints money, selling options. In today's video, I'm going to focus on cash secured puts or selling puts. And this isn't some hypey get rich quick nonsense. This is the real deal strategy that dumped over $30,000 in my pocket this last month alone and way over $50,000 year to date. I'm talking about cash flow that funded my freedom, and I'm breaking it all down for you today. The golden rules, real trades, what works, and I'm going at it specifically from a beginner's mind point. Today is March 6th, 2025. For reference, it's an absolutely bloody day, and practically for the last 2 weeks or so, it's been an absolutely bloody 2 weeks. Murder, murder on the streets when it comes to the stock market. But that's okay because on red days, this is exactly when you want to do cash secured puts. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you as if I am 100% a beginner and how I would sell a cash secured put as a beginner. And I'll be doing it on NVIDIA stock, NVDA. If you're new here, my name is Adam, and I retired in 2024 at the age of 41 years old. My retirement is based on a unique three-part approach. The multi-bagger, where you accumulate assets and asset appreciation, the dividend machine, where high-yield, consistent distributions pay for your bills, and the options income strategy, where you accelerate your passive income with selling covered calls and cash-secured puts to help fund your retirement in style. If you want to learn more, stick around and you'll learn how to do exactly what I did and retire early. If I was selling cash-secured puts as a beginner, as in today, this is the first time I'm doing this, or I just started doing this, these are the golden rules that I will be looking for specifically when selling cash secured puts. Number one, find yourself a company that is an absolute monster that is going through a downturn, but not hard times. What does that mean? That means that the company had really, really good earnings. It's a company that's known in the entire world. It's a company that you know is going to keep producing. It is a company that has a moat and the company on the forefront of some type of revolution. And this company is NVIDIA for me today in today's video. This is a company that even if you were to get assigned the contract, you would be happy owning NVIDIA, but happy owning NVIDIA at a certain price, which we'll go over in just a moment. So that's the first part of selling a cash secured put. Find a stock that you would not mind owning and actually enjoy owning for quite a while. Number two, when picking such stock, you want to stick to golden rules. What's the golden rules? The golden rule is that you want to be right around 20 delta as a beginner. Now, the lower the delta, the less premium you're going to collect. The higher the delta, the more premium you're going to collect. The higher the delta and the more premium you collect, the bigger the chances of the contract getting assigned. The lower the delta and the less premium that you collect, the less chance that the stock is going to get assigned. For all intents and purposes, a 20 delta is approximately an 80% chance in your favor that the stock or the contract is not going to get assigned and you just collect your premium all the same. When selling a cash secured put as a beginner, I would like you to stick to a 30 to 45 days out. What does that mean? That means that the contract is going to be 30 to 45 days out. When selling a contract for 30 to 45 days out, normally as a beginner, if you're selling it for 30 days out, don't even look at it until the last week. And if you're selling it for 45 days out, don't even look at it for the last week or two. Now, these are golden rules that are meant to be applied when you are a beginner. As you're no longer a beginner and you know what you're doing, you're no longer a novice, but now you are an intermediate. Now you could mold these rules and shape these rules as guidelines for you for what fits best for you. Personally, these are not the rules that I follow when I'm doing my trades because I use fundamentals as well as technical analysis. So knowing these rules, now we can actually sit down and pick an actual contract that I would be selling if I was a beginner today on a bloody red day in the market, which again increases the implied volatility. And when selling cash secured puts, you actually want to sell cash secured puts on red days. You want to, in general, sell covered calls, which I'm not going over in this video, on green days. Now, I'm assuming that you guys know exactly what a cash secured put is or what a covered call is, but if not, I'm going to explain it to you right now above and beyond the golden rules. When selling a cash secured put, you are securing a put with cash. What exactly does this mean? It means that you are willing to buy shares of a certain stock at a certain price at a certain date. Usually the put is below the share price today. For example, if X stock is $100 today, you are saying I am willing to buy it for $95 in 45 days. That is the way it works for a cash secured put. This is in most cases, but not all cases. When doing this, you have very different strategies and you have different options when it comes to even the options. For example, you have an expiration date. During that expiration date, you can buy out of your contract. You can roll out of that contract as well. So there's many variations to get you out of trouble if you are so-called underwater with the play. I'm not going to get into it too much in this video because I just want to show you an example of what I would be doing to actually sell a cash secured put on NVIDIA. When doing everything right, you can approximately estimate that you're going to be making 2% a month or roughly 24% for the year selling cash secured puts. It's not all gravy, and the premium you're collecting is somebody paying you to say that you are willing to buy the shares. If the share is a certain price, the strike price, which I'm going to show you in just a moment an example, on the certain date, well, you have to actually buy the shares of stock. Once you buy the shares of stock, it is possible that you bought the shares of stock higher than the actual value of the stock on that specific day. For example, you are saying you're willing to buy X stock at $95. However, on the day of expiration, X stock is worth $90. Well, you just paid $95 for a $90 stock on that day. Now you hold it and you manage your position and start doing something called the wheel strategy, where you are selling covered calls against the shares that you own, producing more premium. Producing premium, generating premium, this is what I call an income. Whether it funds your retirement or gives you a supplemental income for your 9-to-5 job, I believe that it has a place in everybody's portfolio. But me, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not some guru. I'm just a guy that made it work for myself and retired at the age of 41 years old. With the basic golden rules out of the way, I would like to show you an actual example of how to do this and what I'm looking for. And remember, this is in the lens of a beginner. If I was a beginner starting all over again. This is my Robinhood account. I want you to type in NVIDIA. When you type in NVIDIA, you're going to see a screen. I'm going to be using my phone. It's easier for me to do this and to show you what's going on. Now, on the bottom right-hand side, I want you to press Trade, Trade Options. When you press Trade Options, I want you now to pick something that's 30 to 45 days out. So it's very simple. You're going to pick 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So now you're at around April 4th or April 11th. So maybe like April 17th. Let's just do April 17th. Automatically, it's going to be set up to buy and not a sell. I have it set up to sell because I just did a play. So press sell and press sell put. Now, you're April 17th, which means that you are within that 30 to 45 days out. Remember, I'm doing this as a beginner. And then I would go down. And there's this little thing on Robinhood that makes it so easy that says chance of profit. So you want a 20 delta, which is roughly 80%. So right now, there's 2 plays that I'm looking at. The first play would be 78%, and the second play would be 83%. So you could either do the 95 or you could do the 90. This is your risk appetite. Do you want to be a little bit riskier or do you want to be a little bit less riskier? If I was a beginner, I would be leaning towards the $95 strike. Why? There are certain thresholds that are hard to break, and that $100 is very hard to break. So I'm confident with anything under $100 for this specific play. as long as it's close to my 20 delta. So let's just see what 95 does. I'm going to click on the 95. And what does this mean? You are saying that on April 17th, you are willing to buy NVIDIA at $95 if NVIDIA is at $95 exactly or less. And for this, you are going to be collecting a premium. What is the premium? The premium is going to be roughly $2.83. If you go a little bit lower, there's going to be something called the Greeks. You see it says delta, gamma, theta, vega, rho. The only two Greeks you're concerned about is delta and theta when it comes to selling options as a beginner. Delta is the correlation of the change of share price to the amount that your option is going to change. But to make it very, very, very simple without getting into any craziness, 20 delta means that you have an 80% chance of winning. A 10 delta means you have a 90% chance of winning. What does this mean? 80% chance that NVIDIA is not going to be $95 by April 17th. Just to talk about theta really fast, theta is how much the contract is going to reduce in your favor every single day if nothing changes, if everything remains constant. When buying an option, time is your enemy. Every single day, the contract loses value. But if you're selling a contract, you actually want the contract to lose value. So now time decay, or theta, is actually your friend. Okay, so now you have a play, now you have a date, and now you might say, well, Adam, how much is this actually worth? And it's really, really simple to figure out. Let's go to your calculator. You're going to take 100, you're going to divide it by 95, which is the strike price of the contract, and then you're going to times it by how much premium you're collecting, and it was roughly 2.83. So you would be collecting 3%. 3% is higher than the 2% that I was talking about, and in my personal opinion, this is a solid play. Why is it a solid play? You want to collect 2% every month. This is 3% in a month and a half, so you reached your goal of not being greedy and making your money. If you go back, then you would have to press sell. You're going to press 1. And then on the bottom right, it's going to say max loss. So the max loss is the amount that you're putting up as collateral minus the premium you're going to collect. So your collateral is, every option is 100 shares. So 100 shares times 95 is $9,500. This is what this is going to cost you in collateral. But you're going to be collecting $291.96 right now. So if you take 9,500 minus roughly this 300, you're left with $9,200. That's what the max loss is. When you're doing these contracts, you're going to see a bid and you're going to see an ask. Right now, the bid is 291 and the ask is 293. Never take the smaller number. Always take the number in between or the highest number. Now, the bid-ask spread is smaller on certain stocks, and more volatile stocks is going to be a much bigger number, especially if you're picking something like crypto plays. So automatically it's going to give you the lower number. You see 2.93. I don't want that. I would take 2.94, and then I would press continue, and then I would press go. This is the contract right here. It's actually order placed and it's pending. It did not execute yet because I'm asking for $2.94. And people right now are bidding $2.92 as of right now. I do believe that this is going to get, okay, it just filled. Literally live, it filled. And I ended up getting my $2.94, or roughly my 3%, for a 45-day contract. This was a beginner's cash secured put. This is exactly how I would do it if I was starting all over. And I just wanted to break this down because this is a red day today. If you have any questions, ask me down below so that I could break it down and explain to you further how and what I do. This is extremely, extremely lucrative, and I make a good living doing this. Be very, very careful when you do this because you're putting up real money to get these premiums. Don't be greedy and follow the rules. Once you become a little bit more seasoned on this, you can add fundamentals, you could add technical analysis, you can add geopolitics, you can add many different events that are happening, like the FOMC meeting, uh, Trump, wars in Europe, wars in the Middle East, peace in the Middle East, by the way, everybody. And that's what I wanted to talk to you on this topic today. And especially the reason why I'm doing it today is because it's a red day. They're getting beautiful, beautiful premiums. If you are underwater on a play, I'm going to wait a little bit. Just comment down below. If you do this play, comment down below. And if you happen to be underwater closer to the expiration of this contract, I'll do a live and walk you through what I would do to roll the contract or buy the contract out. If NVIDIA, for example, pops in the next week or two, then you can actually buy out of this contract and you could keep most of your gains while giving back some of your premium, but then this contract is going to be null and void. Thank you very much. If you want to see more of this content and you have any specific questions, I'll be happy to explain it. Hopefully this helps somebody either retire or supplement their 9 to 5 income. Thank you and enjoy.